Hello, everybody. It's a beautiful afternoon, Saturday right now. I don't know when you guys are going to see this, but it's just a beautiful day for me out here. Today we're going to talk about an $800 gaming PC, which is supposed to run most games on high to ultra settings. There are some sacrifices I made. If you have $900, I will also tell you what I would upgrade. But yeah, this is the $800 version. So let's just jump straight into it. First, we're going to talk about the CPU. The CPU is an Intel Core i5 9400F 2.9 GHz 6-core hexa-core processor. Blah blah blah. Why this one and not like the 9600K, which I'm just going to grab right now. If we grab I'm so well prepared, holy cow. If we grab the i5 9600K, which is definitely better, way better, we will simply be over budget. If you have $900 to spend, I would go for 9600K, because that's simply just way better than this thing. But this one is good as well. Why not an AMD? Simply because I like to do an Intel build for once, and you can do AMD too if you have like a Ryzen 5 3600. You only have to change the motherboard really, and you would only have to change the motherboard, and then will have pretty much the same bulb. Yeah, then you will only have to change the motherboard to an AM4 socket. I'll show maybe a picture of another motherboard which you would have to choose if you would go for the AMD Ryzen 5 3600. But we are going with the Intel Core i5 9400F, which is an hexa-core processor, 2.9 GHz. 2.9 GHz is a bit slow, but it's perfectly fine. I'd rather have seen 3.2, but 2.9 is okay. It's not too bad. But yeah, it's just a pretty good CPU in general. Not saying that's a bad CPU. Just a bit disappointed with the gigahertz, but definitely if you have $70 more to spend, please pick the 9600K, which is just way better. The motherboard we're going to play with, we're going to have is the Gigabyte B350. Holy cow! Wow, I'm trying to speak too quickly. Gigabyte B365M DS3H micro ATX blah 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 blah. It's just 1151 sockets. So if you maybe later want to upgrade to an Intel Core i7 or even to the Intel Core i5 9600K, as I said earlier, then you can if you want. Just a pretty good motherboard in general. 4 DDR4 slots. Only one GPU slot, or a PCI slot if you want to call it that, PCI 16 slot something. It also has the M2 slot for SSDs, etc. So yeah, it's pretty okay. It's pretty good. 6 SATA ports, I think. Yeah. Wow. Pretty good motherboard in general, just okay, and well, good enough. Not really much to say about a motherboard, right? The RAM is a Corsair Vengeance LPX 16 gigs. It's DDR4, 3000 megahertz. Just 16 gigs. Why 16 gigs and not 8 gigs? Simply because 8 gigs is not enough anymore. Definitely at this price range, you want to go for 16 gigs. You can play with 12 gigs, for example, but that would be a really weird setup. 16 gigs is dual channel, so it's just great in general. Definitely, yeah, it's just okay RAM. It's not like special RAM or anything. Just okay RAM. It's actually good RAM, I should say. Yeah, it's good RAM. Yeah, not much to say about it. And 16 gigs Corsair, 3000 megahertz DDR4. It's just good RAM. Not much to say about it. Then we go to the HDD, the hard drive disk or something. No, exactly. Which is a Seagate Barracuda Compute 2 terabyte, blah blah blah. 7,200 RPM, 2 terabytes. Yeah, just good. Why not the Western Digital Caviar Blue? You can go for the Western Digital Caviar Blue too if you want, but the one I saw at this price range is 5,400 RPM, which is considerably slower and only has like reading speeds for like 180 MB per second, and the Seagate has 220 MB per second, so it's a bit faster, and it's about the same price. It's a little bit more expensive. Just 2 terabyte, because if you're actually going to play a lot of games like Call of Duty and Red Dead Redemption, you're gonna need those 2 terabytes. 1 terabyte is not enough anymore if you're actually going to play like big games, big titles. So that's why I chose the 2 terabytes, so you can actually store some games on this thing and not run out of storage in, I don't know, a year. So yeah, that's why the 2 terabytes is just cool. It's just a fast hard drive. I'm gonna go to the little surprise. Well, surprise, not really. The solid state drive A400 of Kingston, 240 gigs. This thing's not really surprising anymore, you know. Like these days, SSDs are very cheap. They cost literally nothing anymore. It's $40 for 240 gigs of Kingston solid state drive, which is pretty good. I know that like 2 or 4 years ago you would pay like easily $120 for this thing, or like maybe even $150. So yeah, this is just a pretty good deal, and why not? This is like perfect for the Windows and other stuff on this thing. Like, I don't know, maybe you want to put a game on here. I wouldn't recommend putting a game on here, but you could if you want. But yeah, just for your Windows and maybe some extra files or something you want to access very quickly. Then we're going to the GPU, something everybody wants to know, everyone wants to see. This is just the Gigabyte GeForce RTX2060 6GB version, the overclocked version, or overclockable, I don't know what you want to call it. Why this one? If we simply choose for like a TI version or like a super version, we're going to be way over budget. We're going to reach the $1,000 type of stuff. Well, $900, but also with like a newer i5, which you're definitely going to want if you're also going to upgrade this video card. You're going to reach the $1,000. So this is just it's a pretty decent video card. It's good. You can play most games on high graphics with this thing. Maybe not like, I don't know. Can you play Warzone with this thing like ultra? I don't think so, but I don't know for sure. But it's just, yeah, high graphics most games, and it's just pretty good. It's not bad. It's, yeah. If you're going to upgrade your GPU, I would recommend like an RTX2060 Super, or like an just an RTX2060 Super, and maybe like definitely also a new Intel Core i5 9600K. Just that's the first thing I would upgrade about this build if I had the budget. Then the case is really just a thing, like, do you want it or not? Like, I don't really, you can choose for yourself in my opinion. As long as it's an ATX tower, I'm pretty sure, yeah, as long as it's ATX, it should be pretty fine. I can look up like the length of and also the GPU length should be 225 millimeters. As long as you have all that, it should be fine. It should be fine. Just cases, and as long as it's $50, it would be fine in budget. And just the one I choose, the Cougar MX330, should be fine with this one. It's just it's just a pretty, I'm not gonna lie, it's a pretty beautiful case, not gonna lie. Pretty good looking case. But I would recommend like, this is like a case I would recommend, but you couldn't really choose yourself because the case is really what your PC looks like from the outside, so it's really just personal preference. So yeah, as long as it's $50, ATX, and it can support like a 225mm long GPU, should be pretty fine. And if you don't know for sure, you can always ask in the comments. Then we're going to the power supply, which is an EVGA BQ 600 watts 80 plus bronze certified semi-modular power supply. $60, and it's just a good power supply. Not much to say about it really. 600 watts, so you also have like some upgrading capabilities, because the estimated wattage of this thing is 300 watts, around 300 watts. So you should also be able to upgrade this thing to like a newer video card, a newer CPU, put a new CPU cooler on it if you want. Yeah, that should be pretty possible. And you can put as many LED strips on this thing as you want. Yeah, just a good enough power supply. And then we are around the price of a base total, so without discounts and shipping and blah blah blah, all that stuff, around $820. So a little bit over budget, which is sad. I would have loved to stay under the budget, but hey, whatever. Yeah, just $820. It's just an okay PC, and definitely something I would recommend in my opinion. It's good enough, and definitely not a bad choice. Just gonna look up something real quickly for you guys. I'm so well prepared. Yeah, the CPU should come with a cooler, so that's fine. Really, the things that I would upgrade, if you had like a budget for 1,000, I would go for like a 9600K and a GPU, which is like an RTX2060 Super. If you have a $900 budget, I would go for like the i5 9600K. That's definitely the thing you want to upgrade. And really, after that, maybe like your GPU, and then you have a pretty solid gaming PC. This one is also very solid. If you want an $800 gaming PC, you can pretty much game everything on this thing. So yeah, it's a good gaming PC. And that was really the thing for today. It's an $800 gaming PC. You can play anything on 1080p, high, ultra, I think. Yeah, most recent things on high, and maybe like some older titles on ultra. So yeah, that's really the video for today. See you guys in another video, and well, goodbye.